those of the world. I want to start off by using Donald Trump as an example. He is about the world, in the world, and everything he does is a scheme and a scam. That's how he got rich. He spoke a lot of rhetoric and hate and separation all during his campaign. And you see the percentage in the people that actually rally and that are behind him. That lets you know the balance of good and evil in the world. It's outweighing everything that's good. The scriptures state that in the end times it shall be worse than what it was during Sodom and Gomorrah. Back then they didn't have 7.2 billion people in the world. Okay? So we have to look at the multitude of people that are actually in the world and the hatred that is in the world. We have to go and look at how many people actually pay attention to what's good, but they don't want to hear it. They'd rather hear the bad. Because when you're in the world and of the world, the only thing you care about is anything that this world produces or gives birth to. I sit down constantly and I'll go over a lot of people who speak mystical stuff or all these mystical fantasia type prophecies and Hebrew and a planet coming in from the left. And it really bugs me out because we have major rabbis of the Jewish section in the Ashkenazi that if you're Jewish and you believe in the Word of God and you study and you do all these traditions, the first thing you're supposed to do is not even dibble or dabble with scientific means, because your faith lies within the Lord. And in the book of Enoch, Jasher, and in the Bible, it states clearly what God made is what he made. He didn't add it, he won't add anything in, and he won't take anything out, except for when that time comes. So we need to start paying attention, because the ones that, and I'm going to use myself as an example, the ones that only get a couple of people viewing the positive nature of what the word says is what you run with. When you got those people that have millions and millions and millions of views, you have to look at all those people that are of the world that person is critiquing to, because he or she is in the world. And it's the truth. The scriptures state that nobody will want to hear the truth. Nobody will want to hear it. People will shun you. People will damn you. People will actually try to convince you in so many ways you're crazy. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to hear about it. And the whole 9 yards. It's to the point that now that the truth is coming out, who these people are and how many times we've been lied to, it seems just to go over off everybody's shoulder. Everybody likes being in the world because they've been fancied on material gain and profiting off of other people's misery. And if you can be a miserable person, talk about misery, and the music is misery, everything that we see has to do with misery and of the world, people actually enjoy it. When you try to give people a loving, kind understanding of what, the word is, or what life actually is about, to them, it's no fun. To them, you're ruining things. To them, they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to hear it. So the wickedness that is in the land that has been produced for those to believe in, that are of the world, is the things that's going to get you thrown in hell, are the things that are going to cause you constant and more problems. See, once you overcome the enemy that is in the world and you're living outside of this world, and spiritually, you can guess and believe that you will be able to tread on serpents, all right? And nothing will harm you. Nothing will come against you. But these trials and tributes and tribulations, everybody has to face once in their life, or maybe even a couple of times in their life. But it's up to you on how you deal with them, how you stand strong, and then you rebuke those spirits that come against you. Have a good understanding that it's not the things in this world that we should be concerned about. It's the things that are outside of this world that we cannot see, hear, smell, or taste that we should be worried about. It's the one true God and the Messiah and the laws that he came to fulfill in the Old Testament, and he said that we should always live by, because he did not take them away whatsoever. That makes us a strong spiritual person and makes us a better human being for us and others to follow after. It's not going to get any better, all right, as time goes on and as we see. There's already a time now where nobody wants to hear you talk about the goodness and the love and the understanding of God. They'll always shoot something to you as, oh, well, why God would do this, or why God would do that. And guess what? God didn't do it. You did. Well, why did God take my child's life? God didn't do that. You did. Understand that we need to take the blame out of God's hands and look at what we do. We have free will. When you wake up in the morning, you have a free will to wash your behind, brush your teeth, get something to eat, and take your behind to work or school. So that's your free will. If you don't do any of those things, are you going to blame God for them? You have a choice into the decision to turn the other cheek and to walk away. All right? But if you don't turn the cheek in the other way, who are you going to blame? God? No, you have your own free will. You have your own free will to have an understanding and get the hatred out of your heart. A lot of people will not listen to a word I have to say because I am black. They won't care if I'm a Hebrew by bloodline. They won't care if I come from an Israelite tribe by bloodline. They won't care anything about that. It's just the fact that I'm black. But then they'll go and they'll view somebody that's Caucasian and listen to them and get wrapped up in all the Greek mysticism and mythology. Then the person will start throwing in stories about this, that, and the third, and they'll go for it because they feel more comfortable with what I was saying, their own color or race. And we have to get an understanding that there was a trick and a trade that God put in the land. All right, and it's to love thy neighbor like you would love yourself. Treat your neighbor and the other person like you would your brother or yourself. So with that being said, you know, we need to look at what's in the world, all right, and what's of the world. Because anything of this world is not the truth. If you cannot sit down and discern a lot of the things that take you out of your own character to become somebody else's character or be a part of another group, socialistic group, or characteristic group, then guess what? You're lost. If somebody cannot respect, love you, or discern you in a positive fashion because of what you wear, where you work, or how you look, then guess what? You are in the world. They are in the world, and you need to step back from that. Because once you leave behind what is in the world, the Lord will replace it with a new friends, new family, new whatever. And that starts to make you feel good. It's a hard thing. I've had to go down this road. I only speak because these are roads and avenues that I've taken personally. And I've never been happier. It was a long, hard, rough road. But in the end, the reward is beautiful. Because I have family that I reach and talk to that's on here. And family out here in the city that are of the word. And it feels good that you can sit down, laugh, and talk and have a positive feeling and vibe and aura around you and a group of people because you know that you're one grafted olive tree together. So be not of the world because you're in it, but be of the Spirit and of the Lord. And remember, Satan comes in many shapes and forms, subjects, feelings, and emotions. Discern them. If it's not good and it's of evil, discern it because you know where it's coming from. So even though you're in the world, don't be of it.